I was really happy, but that kind of initial excitement disappeared very quickly. Hi everyone, I'm Joey Kim. Today I'm going to talk about some jobs I've got in New Zealand so far and how and why I got those jobs. Actually, I was thinking of taking a video about this topic, and one of my subscribers asked me, what am I doing for a living here in New Zealand? Today is the day you can get some idea of getting a job and living in New Zealand. For the first year, I didn't work at all because after 25 years of working, I really wanted to give myself a good break. I could finally take some really long break. And I think that was a really good decision because I needed some time to explore and learn about this country. I learned a lot about, school system and medical system, everything. I needed some assurance. So at the end of the first year, I could reach the conclusion that yes, New Zealand is a nice and good country for us to live in. So I started to look for some jobs, and then it was quite funny because I started to see some advertisement, and at the bottom of every advertisement actually, they say if you want to apply for this position, you should have eligible work visa. But to get work visa, you need a job. Maybe some people in Korea who have some skills and they can get some work visa before they move to New Zealand, but that was not my case. I already extended my guardianship visa for 1 more year, and for my boys, they got student visa. So this guardianship visa is very strict. So there is a lot of limitation. You cannot work or study full time. You are allowed to work up to 20 hours maximum a week, from Monday to Friday, and from 9:30 to 2:30. It is strictly limited because the main role of guardians is looking after their children. I understand that. It is really hard to change this guardianship visa to work visa or to student visa. So I had to wait for 1 more year. So at that time I was thinking, okay, maybe it's a good idea for me to get some part-time job to get to know the working environment in New Zealand. And then the first part-time job I got was a kitchen hand in sushi restaurant, assisting chef in the kitchen. So my job was preparing ingredients a little bit and putting takeaway food in the container. So it was quite simple, and I really enjoyed that. I used to run my own business in Korea. I had to, I manage, the finance and the staff, and had to organize everything. It was quite stressful. So here in New Zealand, I preferred to use my arms, legs, and my physical strength. So I really enjoyed it. I worked 3 days a week and 5 to 6 hours a day. So less than 20 hours, of course. Unfortunately, about 1 month later, I start to feel pain on my wrist. I had and I still have some health issue, which is fibromyalgia. If you have that, you feel pain wherever the fiber is. So I had to quit the job. So I started to look for some office job. I found an advertisement in which they were looking for an ESOL teacher aide in a primary school. And surprisingly, the primary school was the school my boys went to. So I applied for the job and I got to the interview. During the interview, I had to show some mock teaching to a small group of children. Anyway, I got the job. Yes, I was so excited and I was so happy. And you know, that was just 1 year after I came to New Zealand, and I was thinking that this is a really good chance for me to make some local friends. And my working environment is just, you know, English speaking environment everywhere. So this is the perfect chance for me to improve my English. So I was really happy. But that kind of initial excitement disappeared very quickly. Yes, very quickly. Actually, as an ESOL teacher aide, my role was helping international students. But so I go to their classroom and help them to complete their task. It sounds quite simple, isn't it? But it was not the case. So my job was help these, you know, international students and Kiwi students have a conversation together and help each other. I had to deal with this, you know, Kiwi students and help international students as well. I have to discuss a lot. Yeah, and also these, you know, students, some of them were speaking with a very soft voice, and the children are usually, you know, chewing some words and mumbling, and some of them speak so fast. So I had to understand them and help two groups of, you know, students. So it was quite difficult. And one more thing is, some of the New Zealand teachers had a really strong Kiwi accent. So it was quite difficult for me to understand them fully. And I had to understand them fully so that I could give some help to these international students. So whenever I could not understand them fully, I had to ask the same question again and again. So it was quite embarrassing. Think about that. When I taught English in Korea, I am a very fluent Korean speaker, of course, and I mean, you know, I'm quite eloquent. So after the class, I always, you know, felt some kind of satisfaction. But here, even though my job was quite simple, I felt, you know, frustration, struggling. My confidence was going down, 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 down. That time, I really realized that I must improve my English. You know, the everyday conversation is easy. You can catch up some words very quickly. Sometimes if you want to get involved with very, you know, deep discussion, then you have to speak English really fluently. So I studied English at the time very hard. So original plan was working until the end of the year. So I did it. And then I, you know, had to quit the job to study. After master's degree, you are given 3 years open work visa. So it means that for 3 years, without a company to support your work visa, you can stay here in New Zealand legally. And my boys, my two children, can go to school without international tuition fee. I had to decide what subjects in the university. Immigrants' main goal of studying is that to get some qualification, and then after that they can get proper jobs. So basically, immigrants are studying the subject, some shortage groups, mainly business and some skilled job like a nurse or caregiver or early childhood education, hairdresser or chef, those kind of jobs. If the subject is related with my previous job, then it's a little bit easier when you want to apply for the residence visa. I was unsure what kind of subject I have to study, and at that time I met one staff in international department in the University of Canterbury. After he saw my IELTS score and my bachelor degree, he recommended the Master of Strategic Communication. The strategic communication, the jobs you can take after the study are very various. It means that it does not have any specialty. I have one principle in my life. When I'm not sure about what to do next, I always follow my interest. I'm very interested in social science, so I just decided to take the course. We didn't take exam. Instead of exams, we had to write a lot, write tons of research papers, essays. We had to engage the discussion very actively during the class. My English surely will improve a lot. The studying was really, really difficult, of course, but I really enjoyed the study, and I think I was doing good. I feel proud of myself. Around October, I started to send my CV to some organizations. I hadn't heard from any those kind of organizations, so at that time I didn't want to work in Korean company at all, but I realized my reality. And I applied for a Korean company just in case, and I got to the interview, and then I got the job. Staying and working in an office from 9 to 6 was quite difficult for me. So I was thinking of finding another job. And around that time, COVID-19 pandemic actually, hit the world. Yeah. So I actually quit the job voluntarily and involuntarily as well. So after the lockdown, I realized that it became more difficult to get a job for immigrants. So I started to look for some part-time jobs, and then I saw an advertisement for a babysitter for 6-month-old boy. I actually enjoyed that time because the baby was so cute and lovely. I think life is really interesting. Life doesn't pan out the way we plan. I did that babysitting job for 10 months. So last month, the baby started to go to a daycare center. So I have been teaching English to Korean students who want to improve their English very quickly. And I am teaching some adult students as well who are preparing IELTS tests and who want to improve their English. I'm surviving here, living here and getting a job, making money. So making life is quite difficult, not easy at all. And at the moment I am building up my own business. So finally, eventually, I come back to the position where I run my own business. Because of these kind of experience, I could build up more confidence, determination, and commitment about my new business now. So I think it was good experience. It's not easy to get a job in New Zealand. New Zealand economy is really, really small. think about the population, around 5 million people. Compared to Korean population and the Korean economy, New Zealand is very small. For immigrants, English is a big obstacle, so we have to get over this obstacle as well. Living in a foreign country means that you have to start your life from the scratch, from the beginning. It is quite a tough job, but I think we live our life once, yeah? So if you have something to achieve in your life, I think you better try it. That's how we find ourselves, and that's how we become stronger and stronger, and that's how we can get a lot of happiness from our situation and from getting over all those kind of difficulties. So if some of you are thinking of coming to New Zealand or going to English speaking country, I strongly recommend you to study English hard, so hard. Some people think that, oh, well, I can go to English speaking country and there I can improve my English. Living in a foreign country itself gives you a lot of pressure and stress. So under the pressure, it's really hard to focus on studying. I recommend you to study English in very comfortable environment, which is in Korea. So study English hard, then you will get more chance. Be strong and be patient. Thank you for watching, and I will see you next time. Okay, bye-bye.